Don't be a boob. For more videos like this one, please subscribe to this channel.
Football world, as you saw, the horrible news was realized during the Pro Bowl and deeply affected many NFL players. Kobe's legacy as an icon spanned far beyond basketball. Just days ago, Patrick Mahomes paid tribute after winning the AFC Championship. And Kobe's legacy as a competitor, a father, and a seeker of excellence lives on, with the gravity of his loss still heavy. The gravity of Gianna's life being cut so short is heartbreaking beyond words. Later this hour, we'll share our thoughts about Gigi and her dad, as so many around the world are doing today. And we send love to the Bryant family, as well as anyone who's experienced loss like this. We begin NFL Live. I don't think that there's any reason I wouldn't be back. That was what you just heard Aaron Rodgers say. Let's start with you, Adam Schefter, as Mina Kimes, Marcus Spears, and Dan Orlovsky is here today as well. You had told us yesterday that a lot of this lies in Rodgers' own hands. After hearing what he said today, what else can you add, Adam?
Well, it's interesting. I think today he tried to minimize the idea that gained some steam yesterday because...
Is Aaron Rodgers trying to put some pressure on the Packers here and say, give me some weapons, sign these guys? Is he using the media? Is he using us right now to try and get this message out there to them?
I feel like I'm back in school, like close reading his comments, trying to analyze the text. But as Dan said, Aaron Rodgers is a very thoughtful, intelligent guy. When he says things and he makes comments, he makes them for a reason. I do think it's noteworthy that he mentioned some, looming free agents that he would very much like to remain on the Green Bay Packers. And I don't blame him. Drafting Jordan Love was a mistake. I think there's no way around it. I understand the Packers, like other teams, want to think long-term, plan for the future. You always want to be looking for quarterbacks. But they took him in the first round, and he didn't play, or, meaningful snaps. He was not useful to this football team. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely correct to be frustrated with that decision. Okay, it was a bad one. So here he is now, returning to Green Bay. We don't have to write any more fan fiction about him in San Francisco or wherever. He's going to be a Packer next year. But he would like to influence the shape of this roster going forward. Okay. That's my big takeaway from his comments, and I don't blame him.
So it was my senior year. We were in Florida about to play the last bowl game, and we went to a theme park. And this theme park had wonderful turkey legs.
I wore sweats every day.
Yep, that's it.
Second of all,
there you go, Dan.
You can't get emotional on television anymore if you won't ride roller coasters. Okay, like that, we're excluding you from trying to intimidate us and yelling on us when you won't go 50 feet in the air.
Dan, an ascot is kind of like that napkin that Mina has wrapped around her neck. Dan can't sit terribly, but first, a little Who Wore It Best action here on NFL Live. We had a little ascot moment earlier. Mina just cooked hers up out of nowhere. Dan put a lot more thought into his. We're going to let Marcus Spears be the judge here. Marcus, who has the best ascot, Mina or Dan? There's only one right answer here. But time for one more thing before we go. And it's been a year since we lost Kobe and Gianna Bryant, and still doesn't feel real. And that's from a distance, right? To those close to Kobe and Gigi, I can only imagine the hurt is often unbearable, especially on days like today. We wanted to share some memories of Kobe and Gigi and some thoughts on their greatness. I want to start with Adam Schefter here.
Well, Laura, you still remember a year ago today being at the Pro Bowl and getting the word that Kobe Bryant had died in a helicopter crash. I happened to have my then 11-year-old daughter with me, and it just goes to show you how it impacted so many people of so many different ages, because she was very emotional about it, and she didn't even know Kobe, didn't watch him play, but it impacted her as much as it did anybody else I saw that day.
So this news broke right before the Super Bowl, and I think what struck me, or what strikes me about the memory, is how affected so many NFL players who were inspired by his career, some who knew him personally. I remember Richard Sherman talking about it during Media Week in Miami. Tyrann Mathieu, Frank Clark called him his idol. Clearly, this is an athlete whose legacy transcended sports and continues to do that to this day.
Listen, for me, I'm taking it on the court because it's so many memories, especially the father-daughter, but 60 in his final NBA game. 22 for 50 from the field goal. Vintage Kobe. Give me the rock and everybody move out the damn way. I'm about to do this thing. He put a magnificent performance for his last one on the court, and we'll all remember that one.
Yeah, you know, fans many ways revere athletes, admire, idolize athletes because they do things that the normal people can't, right? They just watch them perform athletically, and that's what grows that admiration. They point to him and say, you're so unlike me. But when I remember hearing Kobe talk about his daughter and the love that he has for his daughters and saying that the daughters were going to carry on his family name, that made this endearing kind of move Kobe to so many of us.
Yeah, thinking of Vanessa, Natalia, Bianca, and Capri today and always, hoping for some peace for all those families who lost loved ones on this horrible day last year. I'd like to end with one of my favorite Kobe quotes. He said, "The topic of leadership is a touchy one. A lot of leaders fail because they don't have the bravery to touch that nerve or strike that chord. Throughout my years, I've never had that fear." Kobe Bryant. We'll see you tomorrow on NFL Live.